What's going on, guys? And oh my god, did you freaking see that iZombie finale? I'm assuming you did because you're watching this video. And if you've ever seen me cover or review a finale before for any series, you know it's not necessarily an episode review. It's more a like whole season, like, oh my god, I can't believe this is how everything came together type review. And man, did iZombie deliver! Seriously, like, I had ideas in my brain, right? Like, I thought this was gonna be the typical comic book show, right? This is one thing, and I think this is why, if you saw my title, why I think iZombie is one of the best TV shows on TV. And what I mean by that is that you think it's going one way and it totally changes you, meaning it's always giving you surprises. And as I've been covering this season of iZombie, which I haven't been able to do in the past seasons, I've just noticed something about this show that I thought is completely amazing. But we'll get into that in a little bit. But the reason why I love this show, because I thought it was going to be the typical comic book show where we saw this big, massive problem that is about to be like an epidemic for this particular show. And then usually you think the heroes find a way to stop it, and then they save the day. Oh no! That's not how it happened in iZombie. iZombie, being those awesome people that they are, totally did a switcheroo, because this whole season and for the last few reviews that I've done, I've talked about how Chase Graves is more than likely the person behind all of the craziness, and it turns out he was actually one of the good guys. His secretary, intern person, or whatever, was actually the one behind starting this flu virus that was gonna kill a shitload of people, that was gonna cause zombies to have way more brains, and it was just, I was not expecting that at all. Before I jump ahead of myself, let's go ahead and put some of the puzzle pieces together in this episode. We found out who killed Robbie's former boss, and that was the little girl. Was actually the little girl and her mom, which is what we just talked about, how she was actually the bad guy in this episode. Well, it turns out Robbie's former boss was actually caught the girls eating brains. The girl was like, oh shit, knocked her over the head, is where she got the bump on the back of her head. Her mom had to get rid of the body, which is where Liv has that vision of her in the trunk, and then she puts her body outside the thing after, I'm assuming, killing her or hitting her in the back of the head again to kill her this time. So that mystery got solved, but not before ruining Liv's relationship. And can we just say, Liv, congrats on not having a zombie boyfriend that died this season. But Liv, you totally fucked somebody else while you were in that relationship. So, you know, you probably killed him emotionally, which some people might say is worse. With the Justin-Liv relationship ending, we also know for a fact that, you know, Natalie and Major's relationship end, because like we saw in the last episode, she got blown to a million pieces, but we got confirmation there was no secret, like she jumped out the window at the last second kind of thing. No, Natalie is officially dead, and that sucks. And like I said, last week's episode was so shocking with that bombing. And then to come back to this episode, you know, I thought Major and everybody was going to stop, like, all this crazy stuff. No, like, it just went in such a way I wasn't expecting. Before I watched this episode, I saw an article title saying that, like, iZombie Season 3 ends with, like, a reboot. And that kind of got me worried, because I was like, why would a show reboot itself? And I was kind of like, you know, I got my mind going. I was like, are they trying to reboot themselves because, like, you know, it took so long to get a Season 4, or they pushed the show back? Like, I was just thinking about all this stuff because I read a headline and I'm a dumbass and I didn't jump into the article. But I also didn't want to read the article because I thought it was going to be spoilers. So I literally had to go off of the title. But then I see what they meant by that title with the ending of this season, because it's basically like we have a whole new show now. Like, we had a bunch of zombies before, right? Like the ones Blaine was making, but those were people that were usually rich, and Blaine was like, all right, you got to give me all your money so I can give you brains, all of that kind of stuff. Now, we knew there was like a small population of zombies, but now there is like a city of zombies, which is really crazy. So now this show has like a balance. And we even saw that Liv was talking to Robbie, and she said that there's a bunch of moving trucks moving out of Seattle. So like Seattle is like zombie capital of the world, unless Paris is full-blown zombies too, but they had the flu, didn't necessarily have zombies there. So next season is going to be very different because more than likely, half of the people live encounters are going to be zombies. And it's gonna make me question, are we gonna have an episode that has to do with zombies eating zombies' brains? What happens if a zombie eats a zombie brain? Is that actually going to be like, you're still gonna get their memories and stuff? Are they still just exactly the same? Or is there something different there? Would a past zombie get every memory from every other zombie that zombies ate? I don't know what I'm saying. We'll talk more about the ending at the end of this video, but can we just talk about freaking Major becoming a zombie again, which is totally insane. And, you know, we know why he became a zombie. Natalie just died in that explosion. I don't know if Major got the connection that was Harley or whatever his name was. I don't think he did. I don't think they made that known in the show. But, you know, he knows that somebody went and tried to kill all his zombie brothers from Fillmore Graves. And I think he realizes that the hate for zombies is real, and he wants to be on the side of zombies. That's why he told Fillmore Graves to go ahead and scratch him so he could be part of the team again. Which in reality, fuck all that noise, because that means Liv and Major can start knocking boots again. Woo! Woo! That freaking relationship better happen in freaking season 4, because we've been getting denied this whole time. Nobody freaking found the cure, that's one question that we need to figure out. Who stole the damn cure? Secondly, freaking, woo! There's no excuse. There's no excuse, guys. They're not in relationships. They both lost people that they really cared about. They are zombies now. Freaking Liv and Major knocking boots. That was Major's whole thing this episode. Let's jump over to freaking Clyde and his girlfriend. She showed back up. She was kind of busting his balls. She was all like, you're going to tell me what's up with this freaking dude who's Donnie's freaking friend. He ended up getting caught with the whole Russian investigation, which we're going to talk about that in a little bit. And freaking Clyde finally tells his GF, like, this dude's a zombie by punching him in the face, and she finally sees why, you know, they had to break up, because Major was a zombie and he wasn't going to, you know, unleash a zombie epidemic inside a prison or whatever, because they were going to try to put Major away. So I thought that was really cool, and I was glad to see how, sorry, just thinking about what happened, but it was awesome to see Clyde and her back together because they were really cool in season 2. And then, of course, Clyde can't catch a break, and he goes outside to talk to Liv when they're about to get their vaccination, because we know that Clyde is like a germaphobe, or he's like, oh, I don't want this epidemic kind of stuff happening. So he goes outside to hear Liv. Liv tells him, don't take the freaking virus. It's going to turn you into the zombie. He runs back inside, and his girlfriend has just got the shot and has become a zombie. And now Clyde is going to be our character in season 4 that has to deal with loving somebody that is a zombie. And we saw that at the end of this episode, that he was dyeing her hair in the sink because she doesn't want people to know she's a zombie. So Clyde, you know, who genuinely loves her, they're probably going to try to make it work in season 4, which I think is awesome. He has a bunch of zombie friends already, so he knows that he can hook her up with brains and all of that jazz. But yeah, I just think it's going to be really interesting to see where that goes, and to see if season 4, is Clyde going to actually think about doing that? Like, you know, we'll talk about it in a little bit, because oh my god, I'm just trying to wait to get to that. Fuck it, we'll talk about it now. Robbie, what are you doing? Oh my god, I can't believe were you guys expecting that? Were you expecting the ending of this damn episode for Robbie to actually want to intentionally get scratched? I can see Major doing it because Major's been a zombie. He totally has a reason too, because, you know, his girl just got blown up, his boys just got blown up. He probably wants to fight some people that want to kill zombies. I get his intention. But Robbie straight up was all like, Liv, can you scratch me? Because I want to see if this little sugar cube works. What? I was not expecting that. Don't get me wrong. I felt like all the feels in the damn episode at the end when Robbie was talking about how he saw Liv eating brains, and, like, you know, he just, like, how they became friendships, and, you know, how they started a friendship and how they're really close, and, you know, how they love each other now, and that anybody that was going to scratch him had to be Liv. I'm just like, I was not expecting Robbie to want to be a zombie at the end of this season. Or ever. Like, I thought he was just always going to be the quirky doctor guy that solves a lot of secret millions of dollar ideas, which I'm so glad the writers put that in there, because freaking the joke about Robbie wanting to be rich, like he was like, oh yeah, make me a zombie, but if I find a cure, then I'm gonna patent this shit for like billions of dollars and, you know, have a helicopter with Chakrabarti on the side of it. I'm glad they made that joke, because Robbie has made some amazing fucking shit in this show, and Homeboy is just helping out his friends. Like, he made a zombie cure, he's made some zombie blue juice for better brain stuff. Like, Homeboy is a genius when you really think about it. So I'm glad Robbie himself also knows that he can actually patent this shit and make bajillions of dollars. Especially when there's a city worth of zombies and America's gonna be like, we need that shit, we'll pay you whatever. Like, that is really smart, and I'm glad the writers put that in there, but I'm still shocked by Robbie wanting to be a zombie. But at the same time, I am really, really interested to see what's gonna happen in season 4 with Robbie, because, like, let's be real, I want to see Robbie on some different personality brains. That would be awesome, just in case, you know, his little antidote or sugar cube thing doesn't work and he does gotta start eating brains because he's a zombie. I would be really interested to see where that's gonna go. And can we just point out that now that Robbie's a zombie, him and Peyton are not gonna happen for a really long time. You didn't think about that one, did you? I'm pretty sure you did if you actually care about Robbie and Peyton being together. But I'm just saying, freaking, that was insane, and they're just gonna be far apart from each other now because she's gonna be like, don't touch me, you're a zombie. But you know, it's just like so freaking, I couldn't believe it. But I do want to see freaking Robbie on some zombie brains next season, and I want to see if there's gonna be like this struggle, right? Like, so he made this decision, Robbie made this decision to be a zombie. Maybe his cure doesn't work the first time around. I mean, he's gonna keep working on it. But what if he, like, struggles next season, right? Like, what if he's like, I made a terrible decision, I don't want to be this anymore, and he just can't figure out an antidote to fix this, and he's, like, stuck as a zombie, and he's like, it would be interesting to see him struggle with the decision of becoming a zombie. Maybe he regrets it, or he hates it, or whatever. That would be really interesting, because, you know, there would probably be something to happen, like, you know, there might be an argument between him and Liv. She was probably like, I told you! And he was like, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know. I think that would be interesting to see something, to see somebody be so okay with the decision, but then regret it later, because that's kind of life. But I don't know. I am super interested to see if he is going to be a zombie for a little bit of next season. You know, maybe he does find a cure later on, but I am interested to see if he's gonna be all weird with different personalities like everybody else, because we saw in this episode that everybody ate like dancer brain or whatever, and they were just like, oh, dancing everywhere. Can you imagine the whole cast being on the same brain and just doing weird shit? We saw that with Blaine, Donnie, and Liv. If it was like Robbie, Major, and Liv all on the same brain, like, dude, next season's gonna be hilarious. Alright, that was the biggest thing I was trying not to talk about, but it's out there. That really shocked me. But I do want to get down to, again, why I think iZombie is probably one of the best shows on TV. And I'm not just saying that because it's one of the shows I enjoy covering or because I cover it on my YouTube channel. No, I genuinely think this is a great show with amazing writing. And I think some people forget that. And it's a comic book show, but it just feels like even if if it didn't have any source material for comic books, I still think this would be an amazing show. And the reason why is the little freaking details that this show deals with. And like one thing, they brought back the boat party into this finale. The boat party that started everything, the tainted utopium, and that boat party where we first met Blaine and Liv and where everybody started becoming zombies. They brought that back, and that's like good stuff. Bringing something back from the past and connecting it to today's episodes just means like, oh, don't forget this is where it started. Like these little details this show does so well. Even throughout the whole season, they made them build up. I mean, a lot of shows do this, but they did it in a way that I wasn't expecting it. And I thought Chase Graves was going to be the bad guy because there was all these signs that pointed to him. He just looked kind of shady. And I was just like, I don't know. And it turns out Homeboy is actually a good guy. And can I just say that was awesome. And then putting a bullet in freaking that chick, what was her name? Harriet Gold or whatever her gold, Mercy Gold, I don't know what the hell her name was. The gold lady that freaking had the daughter or whatever. I love that he just shot her in the brain and wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna freeze you or whatever. I'm glad he just, you know, put one between the eyes. Anyways, I thought he was the villain, but it turns out it was her, but he had to continue, like, with this plan of, like, making more zombies to have the survival of his own crew. Like, that was not expecting that. And now we have hundreds of thousands of more zombies in this show. So now the possibilities of next season are endless. And, you know, Chase Graves in his whole interview at the end telling how, you know, they're going to try to help everybody, you know, survive with zombies and, like, you know, try to, like, you know, give everybody food or brains or what they need. Like, and he was just explaining his whole plan. He was talking about how there's going to be, like, a zombie police force to handle zombie situations. Are we going to see a lot of that next season? And the thing I love about iZombie is at the end of every season, they're setting up for the next one, and it's just so awesome. Also, they leave mysteries for the following season more than likely, because we do still have a few unanswered questions. Now, if they don't answer this stuff in season 4, then, well, you know, that's kind of bad. But usually iZombie does set up things from the previous season to be solved in the next season, or at least to be referenced in the next season, because one, who stole the freaking zombie cure? We didn't get the answer to that. What's going on with the whole Russia thing? Because you know that Clyde's girlfriend, the FBI, is investigating some Russia thing. The first time we heard about Russia was when that guy was hacking their systems. So is that going to be a bigger player in the next season, or is it just a reference to Donald Trump being freaking, you know, hacked by Russia? Speaking of presidents, did you guys catch that whole scene of the mayor reading a book and then Peyton being like, oh, blah, blah, blah? That was totally George Bush during 9/11, you know, when he got told that, you know, the planes just crashed into the tower and he was reading a book to kids. Totally a reference there. Who stole the cure, Russia thing, and the memory card? Who was the one behind the whole memory card? Was it Miss Gold Lady? I know she had to do, you know, she made the daughter a zombie or whatever, or she knew about the daughter being a zombie, but we still don't know reason, like, what was going on with the whole memory card thing officially. Was she trying to get the mayor to just be a zombie mayor? Like, I'm kind of confused, because I don't think they clearly define that. But like I said, iZombie is really good about answering a lot of those things in the following season. I mean, we saw freaking Mr. Boss come back this season because he just took off at the end of season 2, and now we came back and now he's working for Blaine, so it's really interesting to see. And I just gotta say, the writing on this show it's awesome. But the biggest thing that I've noticed about the show as I've covered it over the last few weeks is that every episode had something good in it. It had something that built towards the story. A lot of these shows feel like they have nothing but filler episodes, but this one had something. Like, sometimes it was really big reveals, other times it was really small things, but it just all built up to the final episode of the season, and it was just awesome. Like, I love stuff like that because it makes you want to watch every week. It keeps you interested, and the story just keeps building, so when the reveal happens, you're like, holy shit. So I just want to say thank you to the iZombie writers, the whole crew, the freaking actors. This show, I think, is one of the best shows on TV, and if you guys aren't watching this damn show, what is your problem? It's going to be on Netflix, I think next week sometime. It's like 7 or 8 days after the finale. It shows up on Netflix. If you are not watching iZombie, you need to be watching iZombie. But those are my thoughts on the finale, guys. You know I want to know what you thought of this season finale of iZombie. I'll more than likely be doing like a season 4, you know, preview or something like that when we get more information. I'm going to Comic-Con. I'm going to try to go to the actual panel for iZombie if I'm able to, you know, get into it for one. And, you know, maybe I'll be able to ask a question or something. If not, I'll definitely be able to get information for whatever they talk about, and I'll try to make a video about iZombie there. If not, we'll get any information that drops over the next course of a few months. So I'll try to drop an iZombie video every once in a while when new information comes out. But yeah, guys, remember, if you guys want to get yourself a Juice's Joker shirt, definitely check out that link in the description. There's a few days left on that. You can always support the channel in another way by checking out the Patreon like these awesome people did, or do the OG thing and give this video a like and share with all of your iZombie buddies. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all things nerdy and geeky on this channel. As always, I'm your host, JUICEbox. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself something. Have I had my daily dose of juice? See you guys next time. Bam!